Hello, my name is Samuel Barnes. I am the president of the Aggie Association of Blind Students. Today we're going to talk about the history and uses of Braille. Basically, Braille was the first system invented that allowed blind people to easily write and read by themselves. Previously, there were other systems that used raised print letters, like a raised letter A and a raised letter B that looked like a regular A and a regular B, but those were large, cumbersome, and you couldn't really write them, so to speak. You had to have a big old printer, and the books that were written in these systems were large and cumbersome, not to mention sometimes messy. But Louis Braille, who was the inventor of Braille and also its namesake, was born in 1809 in France. He was born a regular, healthy child, but he blinded himself at the age of 4 by poking his eye out with an awl. The other eye went blind shortly thereafter. His parents sent him to a school in Paris, a special school for the blind, and he made friends, lots of other blind friends, and one year a person came over named Charles Barbier. He had invented a system that was intended for military officers to communicate silently at night. The system didn't work out and the military rejected it, but he basically donated the equipment to the School for the Blind. And Braille was playing around with it one day, and he noticed the problem with the code was that the individual symbols were too large for a single finger to feel all at once. So he reduced the number of dots, and we ended up with the traditional 6-dot Braille cell we have today. Braille spread very quickly throughout the school, and the students really liked it. The staff, however, was not so enthusiastic. They thought it was unsightly, and they didn't think it was easy to learn for sighted people. So they actually banned it for a while, and some of the books that had been produced in Braille were actually burned, surprisingly. But in spite of the ban, the code continued to be taught and written in secret. After a while, however, the staff warmed up to the code, and eventually it became the official writing system for the blind, not only in the school but throughout Paris, or throughout France rather. And from there it expanded to be used for different languages, including English, and expanded to different countries, including the United States. So that was how Braille was invented.
Hello, my name is James Chambers, and I'm here to talk about what Braille is and how it's used. As Sam stated earlier, Braille is made up of 6 dots. It is arranged in 2 columns, 3 dots in each column, and different combinations of those dots make up the entire Braille code. Speaking of the Braille code, there are actually quite a few different forms of Braille, and they are known as grades or codes. Or you have grade 1, which means that every letter, for instance in the English alphabet, every letter of every word is spelled out in grade 1. And when you're learning Braille, that is how you start learning. You start with grade 1, and then once you are proficient in that, you can move on to grade 2, which is also affectionately known as contracted Braille, which with contracted Braille, some words and some letters are shortened. Like, you can have one letter in Braille mean a whole word. For instance, the word can is the letter C, the word do is the letter D, and so on and so forth. And contractions are basically shortened words. For instance, the word name is .5N, and so on and so forth. Now there are also other codes. For instance, there is a code for computer notation called computer Braille. There is a math code called Nemeth Braille, or Nemeth Braille, it just depends on how you wish to pronounce it. And there is also a musical notation for Braille as well. Now, also, Braille is used in every language you can think of. Originally, it was meant and made by the French, but it is also used in English, in German, Spanish. Every language you can think of has adopted a Braille code for that language.